Hey now, how is everybody doing? Welcome to Red Alert Diaries with Tanya E. Hood. I'm Tanya E. Hood, a wife, a mother, and an entrepreneur. As an entrepreneur, it simply means I've worn a lot of different hats in my life that have helped me develop a full range of strategies and actionable steps that I've used to help my clients make a strategic impact, both personally and professionally, to have better than what life has been giving them. Red Alert Diaries is based on the life lessons from my premier book, Red Alert. Is he the one? The pocket guide, the finding the love of your life. And if you read my book, you already know that I got married at 21. And after 11 years of marriage, I found myself going through a divorce, having to raise my two sons alone. To reset my life and survive my divorce, I took the time I needed to get to know me better, which opened me up to new love again. So now I'm in a new marriage to the love of my life and my best friend, which just proves there is life after divorce. On this podcast, we have conversations that's real talk, marriage, divorce, money, and legacy. I want you to join me on the journey. Today, I want to have a conversation about finding your strengths. Nobody really likes to go through the chaos and trauma of life, but it is often there that we discover just how strong we are. It is in the midst of the muck and the mire that we discover that we were built for this, that we are warriors in an army of sometimes unknown circumstances and ideas. But I want you to know that you are already equipped. Sometimes you got to pay attention to the clothes that you have on because some of us are improperly dressed for the situations that's occurring in our lives. I don't know if many of you heard the story like I did when I was a little girl, but I heard about this story, the emperor with no clothes on, who thought that he was better than everybody. He was the type of person that put on the outward appearance that everything was okay. For some of us that are in a relationship or situation where we know there is breakdown and chaos, we put on our personal appearance to everyone in the world, making them think that everything is okay. You see, this emperor was met by a couple of guys that were swindling him, but he didn't know that. They came into town with all the fanfare of saying how magnificent that they could make a wardrobe for him. As the king, he should be well dressed more than anybody. And it was his ego that got him in a situation where he was improperly dressed. You see, they told him that they would make these fine threads that only those with the most prestigious eyes and noble mindset would be able to see. So he paid them so much money, set them up inside of his home, and months and months and months went by. They tricked everybody by making them think that if you can't see the clothing that should be worn, it's because something's wrong with you. Often we've got to pay attention to what's going on around us so that we don't get ourselves caught in the middle of pride because the king was clothed with pride and did not pay enough attention to the fact that he should have had truth surrounding him, that he should have had peace in his soul when he was dealing with the situation. Sometimes you will allow people too close to you inside your personal space that will do you no good. If you are not honest about what is going on, there is no strength when you decide not to face what's going on in your life. Strength is only found in truth. You have to deal with the rock gut truth of what you're going through in order for you to heal it. Because if you don't gird up enough strength, you'll keep walking in the middle of a mess that will hold you hostage. I don't want you to keep walking through that journey. You see, what the king did is what some of us do when we are in our moment of not wanting to be honest with ourselves. Because the truth gives you the opportunity to be honest about the situations that you're in so that you can be properly tooled and equipped to deal with it. If you are properly equipped, then you are wearing the things that you need to wear to keep you whole. Because sometimes too many of us are walking around with inappropriate clothes on, not doing what we need to do or functioning the way we need to function in order to be whole. I don't want you walking through that journey. Don't be like the emperor who later discovered once he was bamboozled and spent all of his money inviting people into his home that should have never been there, only to parade down the street with absolutely nothing on. And see, sometimes when you decide to cloud yourself in lies, when you decide to close your eyes to the truth of what's happening in your world, you lose your peace because you didn't honor what you knew to be true in the seat of your soul. If nobody else believes what you are going through, how you are experiencing it, or how you feel about the situation, don't let that be your problem. That is their problem. You do what you know is necessary to strengthen you in the moment. It is when we operate in truth that we are strengthened. It is when we do what we know is right that we are strengthened. It is when we find the solace of who we are in our peace that we are strengthened. I want you strengthened. I want you whole. I want you positioned so that you can do the things that you need to get to the other side. And so, one of the things that I had to learn when I was going through my chaos, drama, and turmoil, it is no fun. Nobody wants to be there. But we do find ourselves in a position when we are there that we can do better, that we can operate with excellence as long as we are clear what battle we are fighting. And if you're fighting certain battles or certain things that you need to deal with, one of the things that I had to learn to deal with was to learn to be quiet. There were moments, silence was the clothing that I needed to put on when people were spewing things about me that I knew were untrue. My silence was the clothing that protected me at that moment. I didn't know that that was the piece of clothing that I should have worn at the time to keep things safe and keep me whole, but I wore it. See, truth is always a thing that levels the playing ground, but people don't always want to see it, especially if the truth goes against what some people feel is supporting them in their chaos or what they perceive as their strength. You see, as I got better and got stronger in knowing who Tanya was at the core of my being, as I got stronger and got better at operating in excellence to make sure that I was okay, that my babies were okay, and the situation that I was immediately responsible for was okay as well. See, if you find yourself in those positions, that strength will give you peace. My peace has given me comfort. And it is in the middle of that that I have discovered that was a piece of the clothing that I had to wear in order for me to get to my next level. Because when you're shored up in truth, when you know that you are operating on the right side of the way things are supposed to be, and you find peace in it, then you have the first full pieces of armor that you are to work with. Next, you got to protect your mind, protect what's going on in your head. When you start being clear about what you're thinking, how you're functioning, that gives you a certain level of strength. It's your perception of the moment or your vision that gives you insight to move into a different direction. You see, when I started putting in the mindset, I had to put a helmet on to keep out the negative thoughts, put a helmet on to keep out the chaos and drama, put a helmet on to keep me safe and whole. That was a piece of the armor that I needed to put on because I was in the middle of another emotional warfare. Some people call it a spiritual warfare, but whatever you decide to give it as its name, you got to be equipped and fully dressed to handle that situation. Then I had to discover that I had to protect me with what I believe to be true. Your faith will often be the thing that will give you the guidance to walk through the path to be whole. I had to discover my faith, y'all. And it was just a faith that I was better than this moment. If all you need to do is be sure that you are better than the moment that you find yourself in when chaos starts circling, then you're good. You're halfway there. You are no longer sitting in a situation where you are improperly dressed. So I want to encourage you today to press through, to move on, to pay attention to the clothes that you have. I don't want you to be the emperor with no clothes on and have someone as you start parading down the street and you believe that you are well equipped for the situations that you find yourself in, only to discover that you are not, that you haven't been, that you never took enough time to get clear about who you are at the core of your being. A lot of you are fully aware that when I teach, share, and show is knowing your core strengths. Because when you know it, you can then move through the process of dealing with the conflict and chaos that exists in your life. So, for today, if you don't remember anything else I've shared, here's the one thing I want you to know. Be mindful that you are properly dressed for the chaos and drama that wants to try to overtake you. Have the belt of truth about you, the shoes of peace about you, knowing that you are on the right side of what needs to be done. Try to put on a helmet that keeps your mind right. And if you need a shield, let your faith be your shield. If you want someone to join you on the journey, feel free to go to my website, TanyaEhood.com. There you can click under the Work With Me tab and see the various ways that we can work with one another. I look forward to working with you and seeing you soon. And so that you're aware, we are still in the middle of the 30-day Living an Authentic Life Challenge. That challenge will give you some tools that you can put on to help you be girded up so that you are no longer improperly dressed. I encourage you to join me at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time so that we can gain some insight over 12 different topics that cover so many various areas of your life that will keep you whole, keep you safe, and show you where you are strengthened. In the meantime, this is Tanya E. Hood, walking in my purpose, and I want you to do the same.